Well, hello. Welcome to a bonus episode of How We Made Your Mother. These episodes, we are referring to them, of course, as general questions.
General questions.
It was okay.
That was okay.
It was good.
We'll allow it.
We're getting better. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
These are questions about episode 16, Cupcake, which we covered in depth a few days ago. But we are here to delve deeper with watcher, listener, reader questions. I don't know how to describe it. We got a lot of great questions. You were impressed with this batch, right, Alek?
We did. We got a lot of them very quickly. I asked for them 12 hours ago, and they flooded in. The first one claims to not be a question, and it's not, but it's a great topic of conversation. High chance of, is Polish and Polish spelled the same way?
They are spelled the same way.
Well, one's capitalized.
I know, but it's a name, so I'm gonna go with Polish. High chance of Polish, probably. Says, not a question, but I'm so glad Victoria went to the fellowship. Too many shows have the woman giving up all for a dude she's known only for a short period of time. Go Victoria for putting yourself first.
Yeah. Amen. That's right.
You know, I remember when we had the Robin Scherbatsky, Kobe Smulders love medley of people. There were a few people who said, "I love that she put her career first. I love that she showed, that she prized the I, like we were talking about, over the we." And I think too often in stories with a kind of romantic component, the highest aspiration for the woman is to partner off and to marry well. But that's not true for a lot of people, not just, for all kinds of people. Like certain people really want to have their career ducks in a row, and that's the most important thing. And they can't even consider partnering off until they have that aligned. Yeah. So I'm glad that that you didn't fall into that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I like that. That's the moment that Robin and Victoria bond in the episode is when Victoria says, this is my career versus relationship. And Robin kind of comes to life and says, I get that. Because that's why Robin's not with Ted, right? I mean, right. her aspirations for her career, took priority. At 27 years old or however old they are, that makes a lot. That's not wrong necessarily.
In macro and micro ways, because in the macro way, yes, she wants to focus on it, but even not going to the wedding, which is why she chose work, and she will always choose work.
Literally that choice, and Victoria makes the same choice, and I like the kind of the feminism of those choices, and I'm glad that came across. It's true. A lot of people said they love that about Robin's character, and we see it in Victoria too. And Victoria's clearly ambitious. She has her own bakery. She wants to go take this opportunity to learn more and to elevate her career, and she makes that choice, and. In a sense, it creates chaos for her and Ted, but that's okay. They're in their late 20s and they're not married yet. They've been together a couple months, and I think it was very realistic for her to make that choice. I'm glad they came across.
This goes to a bigger question about the fact that we're doing this podcast, that you have the chance to interact with fans who have been talking and thinking about this show for, do the math, 20 or 10 years without your input. Right, there's just, so you have the great fan fiction and the internet rumor mill. And I have a meta question above all these, which is, what do you think, for both of you, I don't want to say what your role is, but you have this power now. You have this power to dispel rumors. You have this power to support fan fiction. And is there value in telling fans, no, that's not true, or that is true? So as that noodles in your head, let me just show you how I got to that. Here's a delightful series of the spectrum of rumors. Fire daughter Emily says, if the series were not to be picked up for another season, would Victoria have been the mother? Mana Vatiana says, is it true that Victoria was planning to be the mother initially, or is that just a fan theory? And finally, James Schmosby says, it's been confirmed for a while that if the series ended here, Victoria would have wound up as the mother. So I guess speak to that.
Leave it to Schmosby to be like, it's been confirmed.
I got it. Yeah.
Let me step in.
Some schmoes planning happening there.
Yeah.
So what do you think about all that?
I think I don't want to correct anyone's creative theory or narrative theory or what it meant to them. Like I think this whole process is realizing how this show belongs to other people. This show belongs to the world now. We made this thing, we put it out in the world. It's been out for 20 years, season 1, 20 years basically. I think I don't want to correct anyone's theories or feelings. People, that's subjective. But we know we didn't plan. That's just a factual question. Were we planning for her to be the mother and had some well-developed contingency plan for if we got canceled at the end of season 1? No, the show was doing well enough that we didn't think we were going to be canceled at the end of season 1. And we never had some big thought out plan for what we would do. Honestly, if they'd canceled us at the end of season 1, would we have like scrambled to wrap it up and been like, Victoria's the mother? I think we would have been so pissed off and heartbroken that we would have been like, fuck you, it's a cliffhanger. You never find out.
You have to do a TV movie with us to wrap it up.
Yeah, come on. You gotta give us the right way to do it. And the right way to do it is hopefully many, many years.
Do you guys remember being in like high school or college English lit classes and you start breaking down like, Melville, doing all this symbolism and it starts to feel like, did he mean that? Like,
right.
Did he really mean all of that?
No.
And at some point you have to get to the fact is like, you're writing on some level, you're writing consciously, but there's all this unconscious stuff. Like you're even noticing, Craig, as we watch this, like, oh my God, that was a rhyme from this.
Yes.
But I don't know that we consciously meant to do that.
Yeah,
so
stuff happens. Stuff comes out.
For instance, like the color theory that all these fans have about, what is it? Like Robin has a color and I don't remember exactly what it was. But that was not something that you guys intended. You didn't have a color chart in the room. There wasn't a dictate from you and Carter, like, here's the color scheme.
Yeah.
But the fans have scooped enough compelling evidence that it's a runner through the show.
Yeah.
And that's people's unconscious, like, working. So I think there's a lot of things going on in creation, but certainly in this thing that we all made together, where your conscious mind is doing one thing, your unconscious is up to something else. And the unconscious, I think, works in a little more of like dream logic. That's why things like colors and symbols are a little more on the unconscious realm. But I think that, you could actually say, you could dispel a rumor, but that doesn't mean it's not true.
It's some of it's there. Some of it's just there. And it was just themes that emerged because we were just chasing these artistic ideas. And I think stuff does come out. I think so much of art is from the subconscious, right? I mean, there is this kind of dream state, and the characters, the best stuff is when the characters are leading you and you feel like they're real people. I feel like you have to do a show for 9 years, you have to enter into a state of delusion that is like, these are real people. I care about them as deeply as I care for real people, and I'm going to follow them. I'm going to let them lead. And I think Carter and I and the writing staff kind of went all in on this kind of shared delusion that these were real people. They really mattered. We celebrated the holidays with these people. We cried for these people. We laughed with these people, and stuff does come out of that.
The more you know characters as a writer, the more they start saying, I don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Or I do want to do that. Or take me here. Wait, there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this incredibly, somewhat mystical experience writing my second film, Liberal Arts, where it's a 35-year-old guy that I played who was an alumni of this college, and he goes back to his college, and he's intrigued by this 19-year-old sophomore, and they fall into this not quite romance, but certainly they're intrigued by each other. They start writing letters to each other. And I kept trying to write something that was just a little more edging them into the physical. And something in me was like, ugh. Like something wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah.
And paying attention to the part of me that wouldn't let that happen was what led to the third act of the movie, which I think is really right. Yeah. And there was something in me that was keeping, and it wasn't like I wanted to write a full blown romance. It wouldn't even let me do like the smallest kind of stuff. So I really had to honor that. And I think it's, when you talk to writers in fictional spaces, it's most of them, I think, or I don't want to speak, but a lot of them will say, yeah, the characters took over at a certain point. And that's when writing becomes really fun, because you feel like you're being used by something bigger than your own conscious mind.
And I wrote you this little ditty
to sing to you in New York City. The weather's been confusing in New York, right?
Very confusing.
No idea. Take an umbrella, don't take an umbrella. What jacket?
Yellow umbrella, no yellow umbrella. It's a whole thing.
So, the missus, is that what I call my wife these days? The missus?
Oh my God. I've never heard you use that term. Is it 1953 already?
I think so.
The little woman?
So. The little lady. I'm going to take her overseas.
Really? This is also very old-timey speak, by the way. Overseas?
Yeah.
Are you going to take a steamer cruise?
Well, we're going to, whatever. I'm going to wear a 3-piece suit on the plane. I'll tell you that much. I dress up for travel.
The twin prop plane? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to Fantasy Island. No, we're considering. Tell me what you think about these destinations. We're considering Portugal. Have you ever been to Portugal?
I've never been. I hear it's amazing.
Okay.
I have nothing to offer you though. All I can say is it's amazing.
Maybe a little time in Mallorca, where I was in Dea, the only town I was in. But Mallorca has beautiful places, beaches. Sardinia. Do you know anything about Sardinia?
See, that's cool. Has the missus been to Mallorca? Has the missus been there? Because
never.
it's nice to take her somewhere you know a little bit and you take her around.
Well, I only know this one town, but we might do a couple days with friends, maybe in Mallorca, and then pop over to this little sleepy beachside place in Portugal, and then spend a couple days in Lisbon, and then head home.
Okay, I'll come. This is all leading to you asking me to come.
This is
going.
awkward.
Or is this?
This was not.
Is there another
an
motive to this
invitation.
conversation?
No, I just wanted to hash it out with you. It's my friend, but now
this
I
is
have
really
to.
uncomfortable. Really
Now I have
weird.
to say, stop inviting yourself on my vacations with my wife. It's just there's only space on the steamer for me and the missus.
Okay, fine. Well, you know what? Listen to this though. I have an idea. Even though you completely iced me out just now and kind of broke my heart on camera while it's being recorded, I will say this much. What is happening to your place while you're away?
What do you mean? My place is just sitting here, just collecting dust and cobwebs.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
Josh, you are missing a huge opportunity here, my friend.
Really? Tell me
Huge
about
opportunity.
it.
2 opportunities. One is inviting me along on the vacation. Opportunity 2 is while you're away, you could make a little extra cash by hosting your place on Airbnb.
That sounds like a great idea. The former one about you coming with us, I'm not so fond of.
Let's hold on that. Okay. Well, maybe I'll Airbnb your place while you're away, so I'll at least feel close to you.
Oh my
How about
God, that would be so.
I'll be the guy.
Would you use a fake name? Would you
Yeah,
come in with like
yeah.
a bad mustache and wig?
Yeah. Not Craig Thomas.
I know that's you.
That's my alias is not Craig Thomas.
Greg Tomas.
Greg Thomas. Yes, from Portugal.
Well, your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
I read a quote from Hemingway recently where he was talking about Old Man and the Sea, and it was just this very like prickly quote because everyone tried to interpret he goes, this old fisherman has nothing, but he goes out and he catches this huge fish, and then he's got to get this huge fish back to land, and the fish is picked apart, as he goes by other fish, and it's sort of like everyone has a theory about what it means, about the futility of life, or it's a religious metaphor, whatever it is, and he had some quote that was like, the man is just a man. The fish is just a fish. The ocean
cigar is just a cigar.
The ocean is just the ocean. I wrote this story about it. An old fisherman. He catches a fish. He tries to get it back to land, and he can't. And he's, of course, being a little tongue-in-cheek when he says that Hemingway is, because, of course, it meant something more to him. Everything means something more. Anything you take that much time to dig that deep and write, whether it's How I Met Your Mother or Ernest Hemingway, it does have a deeper meaning. But I think his point there is, I don't always know what I'm writing. Shut up. Just let me write.
Yeah.
Let me just fucking follow some of these ideas. Let's not overthink it. Let's see what comes out and honor that.
Well, it's also kind of like his job is to write that story. Our job is to obsess over it, pick it apart, find what the metaphor is, relate it to our own lives. It also kind of reminds me of when Jon Stewart was at the height of his kind of Daily Show fame during the Bush years. The more he insisted that he was just a comedian, and not to be taken seriously, the more people took him seriously as a journalist. Like
for sure.
he couldn't. The more he tried to kind of pull himself off that pedestal, the more people wanted to prop him up on it.
Stanley Kubrick also prickly. Also, like
I thought you were doing a new question. Stanley Kubrick has a question.
No, he obviously was always constantly asked, especially about 2001. What does it mean? This and that.
Yeah.
And I believe it's him who said, "If I knew it, it meant I wouldn't have to make it."
Well, that's it, right? They say the best art is asking questions, not answering them. And I think that's true. That's true because there aren't answers. There are questions and there are attempts at answers. And the attempts at answers are art. And sometimes the art has several answers baked in or guesses or better. Maybe those are better words for it. But I think honoring the mystery of that and then also acknowledging that there can be more rhyme and reason to that mystery than you think. You can create things that have a structure that you see later, right. I think, too, which is interesting.
Another couple of questions that I want to give an umbrella to, which is, I'll ask them and I'll explain. Kaylee Pop Mama says, was it hard to let Victoria go as a character at this point? She's so fantastic and their meet cute is so much fun. And then the David Robb asks, how long did it take before you realized it would be fun to have Marshall and Barney work together? To expand that out, if I could, a little bit, to both of you as writers, when you make especially on a television show, I guess, well, movies also, when you make a small decision on a Thursday in the writer's room, hey, let's have them work together. Like, there's the back of your brain that has to be going, hold on, that's now true. So now we have months, maybe years, that we just have to accept that we made this one decision here on a Tuesday. And Josh, you, for writing films, you make one little decision now that stays. Well, now you've got a couple of years. You're going to make this film. You're going to post this film. You're going to work with this film. And we've collaborated on some things. And when you know something is right, you're always open to more stuff to happen to you later. But you just have this. No, this is right now. This is where we're going. So I want to expand these questions out. So short, tell me about Victoria and her leaving and tell me about Marshall and Barney. But can you describe the moment of, yep, we got it. This is what we're going to do now?
Well, two quick answers, because those are just easy to answer quickly. I definitely wish we had more Victoria before she went away. She was so great, but you plan things out ahead of time, right? And she turned out to be so delightful. When I watched the episode last night, or before our main episode that came out Monday about it, I will say I found myself wishing, I wish this was one of those 24 episode seasons, because we were 22 episodes this season. And in other seasons, when we were a bigger hit, they would give us 2 extra episodes for 24. If we'd had 2 more, I would have had 2 more fun. I think Carter would agree with this. I bet we would have had 2 more fun episodes where they were just together, where Victoria and Ted, because it only helps what comes, right? If they're more together, and the drama later plays better if there was more fun to be had before we had to send her up to Germany. But it's just sort of, that's what we booked the actress for. That's how we planned it out. That's how many episodes we had, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, I did find myself thinking we could have had a couple more fun ones just with her hanging out, because she's so great. And then Barney and Marshall, I think what I like about that storyline in Cupcake is it's another kind of question of your late 20s, which is not related to dating or love. It's, what are my principles in my career? What are my principles in my career? Am I going to try to be the good guy and do the right thing and make no money and work for the NRDC and try to save the environment and not sell out and become a corporate lawyer? Or am I going to be seduced by wanting to make some money because now I'm an adult and I want to make money? And in this episode, Marshall and Lily get deeply in debt due to wardrobe choices. And I love that we started playing with that idea of getting seduced off your intended path as you get later into your 20s and you're really an adult now, and exploring that Barney would be the guy saying, yes, come towards me, come towards the suits, come towards the money. And Marshall has these high-minded, lofty ideals, and the clash of those two things. And Barney is such a great seducer, not just of women, but of Marshall off of this path of the light side of things. And I really liked that. And yes, we knew we wanted Barney to be that voice of seduction and the sort of the challenge to Marshall's commitment to his high-minded ideals.
It also reminds me of something, and I think I'd mentioned this earlier, but it was either Greg Malins or Jonathan Groff or someone who, had a lot of years in writers' rooms, and he said, a show is really kind of popping and has some heat to it when you can take any two characters, put them in a scene, and you can play with what happens. There's a dynamic at play that you're like, and I think you guys were still exercising. You're like, oh, we have this trick up our sleeve.
We could do this too. Yeah.
And I think there was a funny chemistry between Neil and Jason that was different than the chemistry between me and Neil, different than the chemistry between me and Jason. And it was just another speed on the bike that you were like, oh, we have this too.
You're watching us find it in real time in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regarding Alek's bigger question, I do think sometimes, and I try not to get too in my head about this, because sometimes a decision you can make on like a Thursday afternoon in your script will prove to be quite consequential. And it can actually lead you down a path that is, it's going to be hard to unwind. Yeah. And sometimes, like, I always send my scripts to Alek because he's such a brilliant guy around structure and stuff. And sometimes he'll recommend something that I'm like, but that would require rewriting 75% of the script, So I'll have to tell him sometimes, like, I like this, so don't kill it. But there is a thing where I think you have a little more leeway in series television to kind of explore little crevices and maybe not go so deep into them, but we're just dipping over here. Yeah. In a movie, it's so much tighter, 90 minutes, 120 minutes. Like, you've really got to have, things become very consequential. If you plant something in the first act, it's got to go off in the third.
We have a big canvas to paint on, and with 22 episodes a year for multiple years. That is a big canvas to try stuff. It's very different than a movie. Boy, a movie is not a lot of real estate.
No. Yeah. But you could also see that, even though you wished Ashley could have been on more episodes, and I do too, like, I don't know, she was on, I think, 16 total. Like, if she hadn't been so good, she would have been on 4,
Right. Yeah.
Like and I maintain that this was not an easy show to guest star on. The 5 of us were like so particular. The energy of the 5 of us at that booth was very loud and strong. And for people who could really get in there and mix it up with us, I was always impressed with it. And Ashley was certainly one of those. Absolutely.
She deserves so much credit.
First of all, Josh, I will tell you here publicly, I'm always very honored when you ask for my help on anything. And I really enjoy the dynamic of my structure monkey architect, Ted Mosby brain, that part of Ted's brain doing that. And then finding your heart and your art and me knowing to go, all right, don't push on that anymore. That's coming from a deep place from him. But yeah, I mean, like, the smallest details is Victoria, does she make Bavarian pretzels or cupcakes? I mean, you just choose one thing, all of a sudden cupcakes become an important part of her story. Yeah. Just anything is going to hopefully not just, it won't happen to reverberate. This is storytelling. This is art with a through line. It should reverberate. And just that moment of going, we're doing this thing. And a mixture of let's see where it goes versus, and let's plan where it goes is also the fun part.
Yeah. Well, it's also like you as a writer, you go, okay, he's an architect. Cool. Architect's a cool job. And then you're like, wait, architect's a metaphor. He's trying to build his life. She's a baker. She's making these confections. Oh, she's sweet. She's also building something. They're trying to build this thing together. It's not quite working. Like, you just start making all these connections, based on these maybe haphazard, sure, she can be a baker.
Yeah. But then you look back at it and you go, wait, that added up in ways that worked. Even if some of it was haphazard. Yeah.
So, great question from Brian Narr, who points out how much of the whole series is in Cupcake. And Josh, you talk about this a lot on the podcast of how so many of these just kind of show everything. Cupcake feels like the classic Hemingway dilemma: timing, ambition, love, and missed chances. Timing, ambition, love, and missed chances. Was that part of what you saw as the emotional core of the series?
Yeah. I mean, that's big time.
That's all. It's a lot of it. Yeah, it's all of it.
These are people in their late 20s. And that was one of my favorite things with rewatching the episode. The money dilemma, the career dilemma for Marshall, the money dilemma for getting married. It kind of branched out of like, what's going to happen with Ted and this woman? and became this like nexus, this like this 7-layer salad, if you will, of like so many different late 20s dilemmas. People trying to figure out who they are as adults. There's a lot of ways that shows up in life, and it's not all dating and love.
And it's also, we've talked about this, but like there's a lot of like micro macro stuff going on. It's almost like the whole show is a holograph. And the point of a holograph is like you pull out any part and the whole is contained in the part. Yeah. And I feel like you could take any episode of How I Met Your Mother or a certain maybe strain of episodes, and you're like, the whole show, the whole series is in the pilot. The whole series is in drumroll, please. The whole series, anytime you have like a mystery, a kind of what Aristotle calls a recognition and reversal at the end, it defies your expectations. It hits those 4 themes that this writer wrote in. There are just these episodes where there's a DNA to the show. And the strain of it runs through the entire thing.
All right, well, thanks again for hanging with us for General Questions.
General questions. That was a good one.
That was good. That was solid.
Thanks, everybody. Keep them coming.
I am guilty. Please acquit me. All sins are forgiven. In New York City.
How We Made Your Mother is hosted and executive produced by Josh Radnor and Craig Thomas. The show was produced by me, Alek Lev, and our co-producer is Doug Matica. Our audio producer and mixer is Alex Reeves at Point of Blue Studios, and our digital content producer, aka Gen Z Master, is Emily Blumberg. Artwork by John Morrow. Please follow, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts or your podcast player of choice. It really does help the show. Our theme song is NYC by our own Josh Radnor, with additional music by Craig Thomas and Andrew Majewski. Special thanks to Lola Kennedy and Elliot Connors. Visit howwemadeyourmother.com to sign up for our Substack mailing list and for links to our social media. You can also click on the contact page to send us an email or a voice message. Your stories and questions are an important part of the show. Want some merch? Click on the store link or go to howyougetyourmerch.com. Subscribe to Josh Radnor's newsletters on Substack. Order Craig Thomas's debut novel at craigthomaswriter.com/novel. And you can subscribe to my Dead Fathers Society, also on Substack. To learn about how you make a difference, this show's ongoing campaign to raise money for congenital heart disease research, check out the Make a Difference tab at the top of our website. This episode was made possible by the support of Backyard Ventures. People will, in fact, dance.
The real question, it just hit me. Am I in love with you, or just New York City?